Top of the morning, the afternoon, and the evening to you, whomever you may be, wherever you may be watching, looking, or listening. It's your boy Ammo, trapping out the house today. You feel me? And welcome to You Gonna Get These Sports, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period. We talk sports, all sports that are Texas. We get into Notre Dame talk, in football, and we get into Kentucky basketball talk always. But today we are talking Cowboys. And if you are wondering about these glasses, I've gone Hollywood. We're talking sports though, man. We're talking Dallas Cowboys. Number one, Dez caught it. Okay? We don't got to argue about it. We don't got to go back and forth with you about it. Dez caught it all day long, all day strong, kinfolk. So that's one of the things that we go touch real quickly because we moving on. And the reason for bringing up that Dez caught it is because I firmly believe that it was a conspiracy of the NFL to stop the Cowboys from furthering their legacy in that playoff game against Green Bay. We'll get into it just a little bit. But in other news, we'll get into the Dallas Cowboys 2025-2026 football schedule. I don't know why them words ain't coming out. But we're going to get into the Cowboys schedule this year. What are their projected wins and losses? Over here, we real about it. We trill about it. Shout out to Trill Burger. We don't care nothing about what we hope, what we think. We're going to look at the schedule. We're going to see what this roster talking about. And then we're going to see what the 2025 Cowboys should look like at the end of the year. Also, we get into a little Micah Parsons talk, okay? It's simple. I have my thoughts and opinions about it. Y'all have y'all thoughts and opinions about it. But at the end of the day, is he going to get paid or isn't he? It's really simple. So, Dez is eligible for the Hall of Fame. The Dallas Cowboys 2025-2026 schedule. Dez caught it. And should Micah Parsons be traded? Should he be paid? We're going to get into all of that and more. So, the beautiful thing that I love about the internet is sometimes you don't have to go looking for things. They will appear. They will appear and they'll be ready to show up in the way that you want them to show up. So let's start off with the Micah Parsons talk real quick, because I have my own thoughts and opinions about Micah Parsons. And I understand for those of you who may not be in love with the idea of him staying, some people believe that he underperforms. If you are a person who thinks that he's the best thing since sliced bread, you'll never find another talent like him, you'd have to show me on tape where he actually performed above and beyond what we needed in a moment that mattered the most. If you can't tell me that, I don't want to hear it. So, this is from the source, Dallas Cowboys Squad or DC Squad. And this was, I don't know if this is on Facebook or Instagram. It doesn't matter. But that's the reference that I'm giving out for this. In 4 seasons with the team, Micah Parsons has 4 Pro Bowls. And if we're being honest, Pro Bowls don't matter anymore. For anybody who's going to talk about, oh, I was a 6-time Pro Bowler in a league where we're doing flag football now and nobody's really hitting, Sean Springs was laying the wood to guys out there. So, forgive me, but I don't care about Pro Bowls. Pro Bowls mean anything. Mean anything but nothing to me. 3-time All-Pro. Now that means something. If I'm not mistaken, All-Pros are voted on by players, by coaches. If I'm wrong, correct me. But 3-time All-Pro, so that means maybe your rookie year you won an All-Pro. But you're an All-Pro every year after that. That means something. Defensive Rookie of the Year. So if you weren't an All-Pro in your first year, but you won the Defensive Rookie of the Year, that means something. I think he had like 15 sacks his rookie year or something like that. That's impressive. I'll give you that. Rookie year, we also happen to go to the playoffs. We don't have to get into the details, although we can and should and will and must get into the details about what you actually did in the playoff game. I remember you being quite gassed. And I remember that not really changing over the next 3 years after your rookie year. So the same issue you had when you came into the league is the same issue that you currently and presently have right now. So forgive me if I'm not overly impressed with you making it to the playoffs on a team that was already primed for the playoffs. You slid in the draft, so you were fortunate enough to make it to a team that had some level of resume to be able to be good enough to make the playoffs. I'm never going to slight the Cowboys for being good enough to make the playoffs, regardless of what your division looks like, because we would have to slight Tom Brady in the greatest form, who dominated his division every single year of his life. So I'm not going to be mad at the fact that Micah Parsons was on a team that was already primed to make the playoffs in the Dallas Cowboys, and that he won Rookie of the Year. And he would look quite impressive, if I may add, if I do so say myself, Pardon me. All right. In his career, he has 52 and a half sacks. So if we break up, we're going to do the math on this. If we have 52.5 sacks divided by 4 years, he's averaging 13.125 sacks a year. Not bad. If you're calling Micah Parsons a generational talent, 13 sacks a year is the bare minimum that he should be averaging. Not hating on it. I'm just saying, Lawrence Taylor, he was compared to Lawrence Taylor, the greatest defensive player, not defensive back, not defensive lineman, not linebacker, not safety, not corner, the greatest defensive player of all time. Of all times, Craig. Micah Parsons was compared to Lawrence Taylor in his first 2.5 years in the league. What has he done? And this is a serious question here. This isn't hate. I'm really asking because I want people to tell me the freaking truth. What has he done to warrant being compared to Lawrence Taylor? I'll wait. I invite the comments. If you watch football, if you know anything about the history of the game, if you know anything about defensive players, please tell me if at this point it warrants for him to be compared to Lawrence Taylor, who played in a very different NFL. This all game, let's be clear. NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, it's all geared towards offense. But when we look at the players of his ilk, we look at the TJ Watts. If we look at JJ Watt, if we look at Crosby, if we look at the kid that plays for Cincinnati, if we look at any of the great defensive linemen of this time that have gotten paid, I hate the fact that because of what the NFL does, and when somebody gets paid, they become the standard for what is the expectation for the next person to get paid. I hate that is how the game goes. Because these guys aren't forced to produce at a higher level than the people that were before them. We all know that Dak Prescott isn't worth $60-something million a year in no stratosphere. Sorry, you have what, 2-3 playoff wins? You've lost way more than you won. Can't do it, my boy. Can't do it. But respectfully, I'll let you have that, right? But when we start looking at a guy like TJ Watt, who has showed up time after time, and the reason that we have to compare him because we passed on TJ. You be honest with me. I just want people to be honest with me. Do not lie. Would you really rather have Micah Parsons over TJ Watt? Because those are the comparable players. Would you really rather have Micah Parsons over TJ Watt? I just want to know. I won't take offense. I won't get mad. I just want to know. So, just to quickly rehash these numbers, we're going to go back really quick. He's got 4 Pro Bowls. Pro Bowls don't matter in today's NFL. They don't hit. They don't tackle. They don't really... Nothing about the Pro Bowl is real anymore. It's a great obstacle course. They do 40-yard dashes, which I love. They do drills, but they don't tackle. They don't hit. That's not a proponent of what makes you great. So, him having 4 Pro Bowls, Micah Parsons, it doesn't matter. 3-time All-Pro. That matters. Being an All-Pro matters because now your constituents get to vote on who is the best of the best. Now, is there bias in that? Yes. Because in today's NFL, there's no more competitiveness amongst players. You have guys who are the best players in the world. They get up and they go hang out, and whatever. If you want to work out, that's fine. But when I think about the greats like a Jordan or somebody, they use that stuff as mind games to get advantages over those guys. They weren't trying to be buddy-buddy. They didn't go on each other's podcasts and stuff like that. So me voting for Micah Parsons to be an All-Pro could be indicative of how good he is, but it could also be that's my partner, and so I'm going to vote for him over anybody else. So I won't pass on it because it's more than just your partners. You ain't cool with everybody in the league. So them voting him 3-time All-Pro, and he's been in the league 4 years, that's impressive, so I'll give him that. Defensive Rookie of the Year, that means something. I'll say that again. Him being Defensive Rookie of the Year means something. He beat out a lot of great players that were on defense that year. So we're not going to argue about that. He's got 52 and a half sacks over his career. That pans out to about 13 sacks. We're not mad about that. Okay? Now when we get to the playoffs, that's a whole different ball game. Because the most notable sacks that he's got in a playoff game, correct me if I'm wrong, Tampa Bay, we beat them by 39 points. And I may be exaggerating on the actual number. But we beat Tampa Bay by 39 points. He had like 2 sacks in that game. We were well ahead when he got these sacks. Please name me another playoff game. Oh, maybe against Green Bay, who we can't never beat in the playoffs. Name me another pivotal game. Oh, against San Francisco, who we can never seem to beat in the playoffs, where Micah Parsons showed up or actually had an impact on the game. He actually becomes very irrelevant. Please, if you have facts, I'd rather you spit them out. Because the calling card of the offense is if we run the ball at him, he'll become irrelevant. He too light in the head. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to finish that. As good as he may be, he doesn't have the girth. Mind you, he was a running back in high school. He was a running back who then went to Penn State and became a linebacker. And when you're that athletic and gifted and talented, I'm not taking away the fact that he's athletic or gifted or talented, but when you're like that, you can switch. You can do a bunch of stuff. Who or what do you want from him? Okay, I'm glad you asked, Papa Real. Who or what do I want for him? So I took a screenshot because if we're going to go and trade away a guy like him who is a good player, I'm not taking that away from him, right? We're going to have to get something that actually matters. So let me read this from Them Boys Cooking. I don't know how real this is, guys, so I'm not saying that this is an actual thing, but I've heard smoke about this before, maybe not in a trade that involved Micah, but involving one running back from the New York Jets. It excites me, I can't lie to you. NFL Insider drops eye-opening trade proposal sending Micah Parsons out of Dallas. While most trade projections would center around first-round picks, the Athletics' Zach Rosenblatt, who covers the New York Jets, has an intriguing proposal that would send Parsons into the AFC East. Rosenblatt says that New York shouldn't be willing to surrender first-round picks, but they could offer Dallas two starters and multiple picks. His suggestion sends Parsons to the Jets in exchange for running back Breece Hall. I love this kid. He's a baller. He's an absolute baller. We need a running back. We don't have a running back. Now, mind you, we drafted Blue. We drafted, is it Jaden Blue from Texas? I'm a Texas fan. I love this kid. But we still need to partner him with a veteran. So, I would like to get Breece Hall. The Jets ain't going nowhere. So give me Breece Hall. And I don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at the quarterback situation. You know what I'm saying? I think the kid just hasn't had a fair shake. I cannot remember his name. So if you remember the who's the kid that got drafted by Chicago? Who's the kid that got drafted by Chicago and then they got rid of him before they got Caleb Williams? So anyway, the Jets are a disaster waiting to happen. That's just my belief about that. So if we're gonna trade away Micah, we have to get at least 2 first-round picks, or we have to get, like this report was saying, multiple starters. And we also would have to fill a need that the team has. So being able to get a Breece Hall or somebody like that, he's a year removed from the knee injury, because if you remember his rookie year, he tore it up. He was literally tearing it up on the field, and then he tore his knee up. Then he came back, and he's been more than serviceable. He actually wasn't used as much as he should have been, because you got the grandpa Aaron Rodgers that is now that was at the helm there. That was a failure. Thanks, Aaron, because one week I actually could have beat Scott Regan, but you didn't. He had 20 points in the first half, and then you didn't use him again. Thanks, but no thanks, grandpa. So anyway, I would like multiple first-round picks, or I would like starters, absolute starters. So maybe a corner, maybe a running back, a linebacker, somebody for the offensive or defensive line. We need something like that if we're going to get rid of Micah. So now there's a great chance that he still signs. And if he does, I'm not going to be mad at it. But I'm not mad at us trading him away. That's just my thoughts, right? So let me finish out his stats. 9 forced fumbles. Cool. Whatever. Doesn't matter to me, because if he didn't get sacks or pressures in games against playoff teams or play in the playoffs, you definitely didn't get forced fumbles. So that tells me that you didn't get those forced fumbles against teams that actually mattered. So I'll pass on that stat. And then 4 fumble recoveries. Anytime that you can get the ball off a fumble or somebody else's fumble and turn it into offense for your team, that matters. So we're going to roll with that. So anyway, Micah Parsons. I personally, if you can't tell, I'm a fan of getting rid of him. I think in today's NFL, you don't need results. You need flashes. You need talent in pockets that make people say you're generational talent, right? And let's be clear, a couple 150 yard games for a receiver, 130, 40 yard, touches, a couple touchdowns, and they're quick to tell you that you're a generational talent. That's the league that we live in. It's so offensively driven that it doesn't take much for that to be something that people like to hang their hat on. So for me, I'm not as big on those titles and stuff like that, because nobody's saying he's the second coming of Lawrence Taylor anymore. So for me to think, unless he goes to the right system, the right scheme, all of those things, because he can go to a Jets that have a pretty stud defense and dominate in some level, because they gear themselves towards being generational in their talent, so to speak. They know how to pick defensive players. So anyway, I'm not mad at getting rid of him. Listen, man, he's cool. Y'all like the gas and make it seem like he's something we've never seen before. We've seen good. What was not DeMarcus Lawrence? What's my other guy that was here for years? That played at, man, I'm horrible at names. My memory be bad sometimes. Who was our guy, though, that was here for like 15 years and then he went to Denver and won a championship? DeMarcus. Anyway. He was special. But we never won nothing. And I know it takes more than just a DeMarcus Lawrence or Micah Parsons to win a championship. Absolutely, because Dak Prescott is not the guy. But at least I can say that those other players may have made plays in spots that I could say I could hang my hat to believe that they can actually do something that could justify paying them top 2-3 in the market at your position. I'm not buying it. So anyway, I move on. I'm gonna get to the schedule last, but I want to get into Dez Bryant, right? So I'm at the gym working out yesterday, and I see that Dez is now eligible for the Hall of Fame. I love Dez. I love the man that Dez has become since retiring. I love that he's found ways to still be relevant. I wish that we could see him on TV a little bit more, but Dez was the man, and Dez was absolutely dominant. Great possession receiver, great red zone target, explosive in every way, throw up the X. You know, I've never seen a guy be more dominant, especially against our division, 2 and 3 touchdown games. There was nothing you could do about it. People forget, Dez's first year in the league, he ran a punt return back. He had some speed on him a little bit. He had like those little bursts. He was wiggly, but I think he's an aggressor. So when you're an aggressor like that, typically what happens is you start kind of slowing down. You take a little more damage. You know what I'm saying? Dez was more of a kind of possession receiver than he was like this all-purpose guy. Dez was a go ball, jump ball kind of guy his entire career. But the first 2 years in the league was the most elusive he had been. You know what I'm saying? His speed didn't necessarily translate. He wasn't the slowest by far, but never looked like that first year Dez that we saw, that we knew and loved. So let me read these stats to you, and you tell me if this is a Hall of Famer. Okay? 500, and please go to the comments and let me know. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, man. So I'm going to read these stats to you. Shout out to my boy Ron. Shout out to my boy T. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to read these stats to you. Tell me if you see a Hall of Famer. Tell me if these numbers scream Hall of Famer to you. Over a career, and I'm not telling you how long the career is, because this is a tale of two receivers. 5 Pro Bowls. 3 first-team All-Pro selections. And 3 NFL reception titles. So 3 years this receiver led the league in receptions, 5 times a Pro Bowler, and 3-time All-Pro at receiver. For their total career, 595 receptions, 8,134 yards, 65 touchdowns. That's it. Oh, he was a single season reception holder, held the record for most receptions in a season twice. So 108 yards one season and 112 yards another season. He led the league in those receptions, and then was a Triple Crown winner 1 year. So he led the league in touchdowns, receptions, and yards. Is that a Hall of Famer? So quickly, we're going to just say 600 receptions, 8,000 yards, 65 touchdowns, 5 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pros, 3 times he led the league in receiving, 2 times he led the league in touchdowns, single season reception record twice, and a Triple Crown. So he led the league in receptions, yards. He led the league in all major statistics. Is that a Hall of Famer? Yes or no? Put that in the chat for me. Yes or no? Because I have another stat. I have another receiver that I want to tell y'all, and I want to see what y'all think about that. Man, y'all disobedient, dog. Come on, man. Is that a Hall of Famer? Yes or no? 600 receptions, 8,000 yards, 2 times led the league in touchdowns, 3 times led the league in receptions. He got the numbers. So Ron, you say yes. He got the numbers. Okay. So I'm not gonna you say he got the numbers, but you say no. Oh, that's a plot twist. Okay, so let me read this other person. So let me give you the other caveat. That player did that in 7 seasons. Okay, so that player did that in 7 seasons. 600 catches, 8,000 yards, 65 touchdowns. This player in 9 seasons had 7,500 yards, 73 touchdowns, 537 yards receiving. So Ron, by your metrics, the player that actually had 2 less years but had more receptions, more yards, but less touchdowns is not a Hall of Famer. So side by side, we have one player that has nine seasons, 7 seasons, 7,300 yards. This one has 8,000 yards. This one has 73. This one has 65. So by that metrics, neither one of those guys, according to Ron, is a Hall of Fame receiver. The player that has less reception, has less years. If that's the case, he gotta be in the Hall. Which one? The one that that did it in 7 seasons gotta be in the Hall? Because let me just say it this way. Because I want to take my bias out of this. I just want to be real about what I see. According to what I see, the player who has 9 seasons, 53 hold on. The player that has 9 seasons, 7,500 receiving yards, 73 touchdowns, and 537 receptions is not a Hall of Famer. That player is Dez Bryant. I'm sorry. For all my Cowboy lovers, I love Dez. He caught it, and we're going to get into that in a second. He caught it. He's not a Hall of Famer. The player who did it in 2 less seasons, 5 Pro Bowls, 3 first, all that, more catches, more receiving yards, less touchdowns, that's Sterling Sharp. I don't care. Dez in the Hall of Fame, regardless of the numbers, he was like that. I like the energy. The player that has 9 seasons should be in too. Dez was the one who had 9. Dez was the one who had the 9 seasons. The one who had 7 seasons was Sterling Sharp. So Sterling had Dez beat out, playing 2 less years, more receptions, more yards, less touchdowns. Dez never led the league in touchdowns, receptions, and yards. No, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he ever led the league in receptions either. Maybe touchdowns. So, okay. So, why do you say he was like that, though? Like, not why do you say he was like that. Why do you say he's deserving of the Hall of Fame because he was like that? Because I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I just don't want to appear to be overly biased. On this platform, I believe in being realistic. I'm going to have my fan moments. I figure you were talking about Sterling. Sterling just went in, dog. And here's the thing. When I think about Sterling, he was in a league. People forget this, and I didn't realize this until I listened to him talk about it on the show, on his brother's show, on Shannon Sharp's show. He was in the era with Jerry Rice. The Jerry Rice. I'm like, dog, come on. And the argument back then amongst most was who's the better receiver, Jerry Rice or Sterling Sharp. So I don't think there would have been an error, I'll say it this way, for my argument against Dez being in the Hall of Fame, just to be fair. I don't think there was ever an era where Dez Bryant and Jerry Rice would ever be comparative. Dez was never as dominant as Jerry Rice was. And I love him. Please don't get offended here. But he just was not as dominant as Sterling Sharp was. Dez was never as dominant in an era as Sterling Sharp was, for whatever the reason was. And Dez, from the moment he stepped on that field, was the guy. We know this to be true. I'm a Cowboy fan. I've been very disgruntled over the last 5 years, 6 years, 7. Let me just keep it a bean. Over the last 10 years, I've been very disgruntled because I don't believe that the product that they put on the field has really been competitive with that of what people think according to the hoopla of who they say that the Cowboys are. Ron said if Sterling wouldn't have gotten hurt, man, it wouldn't be close. I remember watching him get hurt. See, I don't remember watching him get hurt, Ron. To Jerry, that is. Oh, he wouldn't. You saying it would have been close? You're saying that it would have been closer between who was more dominant, him or Jerry? Because I gotta agree, bruh. Like, you gotta think the career that all right, let's see what Papa say. Papa Real, number one wide receiver for the Cowboys for how long? This is a little sauce on this. Is this TJ? Because I mean, I believe it's TJ. But Papa Real says number one wide receiver for the Cowboys for how long? And I gotta read it like that because he got a little extra on it. For how long? The tough catches he made, he had to make do with backup quarterback since Romo couldn't stay healthy. Come on now, for real? Bro, we got a real... Hey, listen, this can't be TJ arguing for Dez like that, bro. Like, what? You a Cowboy fan? This is news to me. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is very interesting to me. Okay, Ron. I see what you're saying. I don't know, bro. I want Dez. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. I want Dez to get in. And thank you. Let me go back. Let me go on back. Thank you for everybody who's tapped in, who's subscribed. If you haven't, please subscribe. Hit the like button. It's just going to make sure that everybody else gets to know about what we're talking about in here. So if you could, please and thank you, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hit the like button for your boy. But I want Dez to get in. I am a lifelong Cowboy fan. I tell the story on one of my old page. Oh, not my old pages, but it is my old page, actually. On my old page, my grandma used to make Cowboy stew. It was just a stew she made because she loved the Cowboys. My fandom came from watching my granny go nuts watching the Cowboys play. She kicked another grown man out of the house because he was talking too slick. Her good friend, she took the dude plate. Hey, you gotta go. Nah, you good? Just, hey, there's a doorknob right there. And he left. She was not playing. So I have been so people don't believe this, but I remember the Cowboys' last Super Bowl. I remember the Cowboys, and I'm gonna get to the comment. I'm gonna get to these last two hold on, because I think I see somebody in the comments being disrespectful, bruh. And I'm gonna get to you. You just hold on a second. But no, I remember that level of fandom, and it rubbed off on me. You know what I'm saying? And so for those of you, also, by the way, if you may be wondering, what the glass is about, I didn't win Hollywood. So anyway, so T say, yeah, it's me. But no, definitely not a Cowboy fan, but definitely a Dez fan. I met him in person, been to his house and everything. Hold up, Kinfolk. Hold up, dog. Bro, you gotta tell the story. You ain't never told me you went to Dez's house now, dog. What now? How you gotta be a Cowboy fan after that, dog. If you'd have been to Dez's house, you gotta be a Cowboy fan, bro. You going too hard for Dez not to be a Cowboy fan. So that's all I'm saying. Ron said, yuck. Are you talking about my granny stew? Look at this finger, Ron. Are you talking about my granny stew? Are you disrespecting Dorothy Louise pie stew? Huh? It's consequences and repercussions for stuff like that, dog. Don't disrespect granny, dog. R.I.P. to that girl. She gone too soon. Gone, never forgotten. But are you disrespecting her stew? It was actually fire. In a real way, Brodusky. Actually, my granny is the best cook I've ever known. If I'm being honest. Like, I ain't even being funny. Like, my granny is the best cook I have ever known. So, yeah. In a real way, Brodusky. Hey man, we gotta talk, man. Hey, look. Hey, when I see you at work tomorrow, I'm gonna pull you to the side, kid. Like we finna have a real conversation, dog. You know what I'm saying? You can't be disrespecting Gritty. He said, but Ron said, I feel you. Have the numbers then. I feel if you have the numbers, then you should get in the hall. Yeah, but here's the only thing about that too, Ron, is the numbers can be so subjective. They can be subjective when they want to justify not putting you in. But it's like, it's objective. Am I saying that right? But it's objective when they want to keep you out. Like they want to keep T.O. out, but you can't deny those numbers. You get what I'm saying? So now it want to be about, you know how it is. When you're being considered for the Hall of Fame, it's a lot of like, okay, this is what the numbers are, but he was a great man. He won Man of the Year 3 times. Or in the opposite way, Aaron Rodgers, he's won Man of the Year, but their stuff came out that says his family don't like him, he don't like them, they don't talk to each other, they're estranged. Or he was bad to the media or something like that. What does Dez not being good with the media have to do with if he's worthy or not to be in the Hall of Fame? What does T.O. not being good with the media have to do with him being worthy of the Hall of Fame? What do the numbers say? And that's the problem that we kind of get into when we start looking at if these guys are worthy to actually get in or not. I would probably argue with you that there are some receivers, there are players of all positions that actually probably didn't have as good a numbers as Dez has, but the league was smaller then. It always has been and always will be a good old boy sport. Listen, there's not a black owner still. So we can't act like we don't know what type of game that we actually playing here. So if they don't want you in, as we seen what happened to Shedeur Sanders this year, if they want to prove a point, they will prove a point. But I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen with Dez. I think that he's done a good job of revitalizing who he is and how people view him. Let's be clear about that. I think Dez has done a really great job of revitalizing who he is off the field. Because it's funny, right? Because you'll have players like Jason Witten who would have gave the impression that Dez was like a bit of a locker room cancer. We don't know that to be true. Nobody else speaks to it except when there was contract situations or when it was time to release Dez or when they make it out to be whatever they want it to be. So you said that's what I was just about to say. It's a lot of politics. And listen, bro, if you want to know about some of the reasons why, and I know you're not saying it. No, I know you're not saying tell me about your career, but if that's a part of the reason why with the post office, I've not been as quick to try to look into getting into management at times, because you can have a person who they don't hardly show up to work, but they cool with the postmaster, or they cool with the supervisor, or whatever. So their attendance don't really matter. I've heard people tell me, man, that stuff don't matter. It's about who you know. That's everything, right? So for me, I think I should be judged off of the merit of how I show up. Hey, folk, I'm going to be at work late. But guess what? My route going to be done at 8 on a Monday. Stop talking to me about me showing up at 9 o'clock. Because you got people that's lollygagging on the clock all day long. I'm going to show up, I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to get on up out of there. So it's stuff like that, right? If these guys produce on the field, they should be treated as such. Don't deny people the glory of living in infamy like the Hall of Fame if they truly are deserving of it. So that's the bottom line. At the end of the day, if he's been treated as darling enough, he will be added into the Hall of Fame. As we can see, I could probably argue, even though I know how great Sterling Sharp was, that he probably shouldn't get in. Terrell Davis. How long did Terrell Davis play in the NFL? Hold, please. Hey Siri. Oh, you gonna do me like that when I'm talking to my friends? Hey Siri. How many seasons did Terrell Davis play in the NFL? Terrell Davis played for 7 years. He won 2 Super Bowls. He played from 1995 to 2001. Won 2 Super Bowls. Did he run for 2,000 yards one time? Now, mind you, very short career, but very impactful for the time that he was in the NFL. That team was that team in part because of TD. And if migraines didn't cut his career short, oh brother. So thank you, Ron. But hold on, let me get to the comments. Hold on, I got you. He said exactly, bruh. They pick their favorites or based off of who they know. That's how I go, bruh. It's not what you know, it's who you know, and then it don't matter what you know until you know who you know. And so that boy Ron said, good example. I agree though, bruh. But Terrell Davis was great for the NFL. He was exciting to watch. Now his lips was chapped, and you could see that vein coming through that bald head of his. He had that big vein coming through that head, can folk pause. But great when he was on the field. Got another comment. Ron said the Super Bowls and the 2,000-yard season got him in the Hall. And so to that point, great point, Ron. 2,000-yard season, 2 Super Bowls that they don't win if TD is not on that team. So it just doesn't matter about the numbers. What else matters? I'm glad you asked. Impact. What type of impact did you have for your team? We know guys who put up numbers and have no impact. We were talking about Barry Sanders versus Emmitt Smith earlier. So, now, this is in no way, please hear me when I say this. I don't want no what's the word? Not feedback. I always welcome your feedback. But what's the other word? I don't want any, anyway, I don't want y'all tripping about this statement, right? But we were talking about, I forgot what we were talking about Dez, right? And if he was worthy of being in the Hall of Fame or not. And then one of my coworkers said that, no, I brought up Marshawn Lynch versus LaShawn McCoy. I think he brought up LaShawn McCoy, and I said, well, that's like him versus Marshawn Lynch, right? It's like Emmitt Smith versus Barry Sanders. I think that's a great comparison, by the way. Because if you look at LaShawn McCoy, not a power back by any stretch. So I would say neither was Barry Sanders, but he probably had a little more power back to his game than LaShawn McCoy. But if you're looking at Emmitt Smith, the way he ran the ball, how hard he ran, very comparative Marshawn Lynch to him. Even though, and basically I was saying that we talk about 2 different contrasting running backs from the same era, and the argument that most people would make is that Barry Sanders was better than Emmitt Smith. And people would argue that LaShawn McCoy was better. My coworkers arguing that LaShawn McCoy was better than Marshawn Lynch. And I said, oh, okay. Because I don't necessarily believe that. I think that when you look at those scat back kind of guys, they are very flash in the pan. They're very exciting to watch. But when you talk about a Marshawn Lynch, when you talk about an Emmitt Smith, they're going to get the job done. Guys who all still have these 60, 70-yard runs, but that's not full of highlight tapes of them doing that and making guys miss and all the jukes. But people never give Emmitt Smith the credit for what he did in the open field once he got past the linebackers. How do you become the leading rusher? You don't. The line didn't pick him up and just walk him to the goal line. But that's revisionist history, right? That's what we think about. Marshawn Lynch is probably a greater running back than LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn McCoy is just more talented. And that's okay. Like, he could do more. So, hold on, Ron, because we're going to get there. Hold on, stay right there. it's not even 10 guys in history that have rushed for 2 stacks. Exactly. So you got to be in rarefied air. So so Jerry Rice, to your point, making my point to TJ, this is my point to TJ. If we gonna be, see Ron, you talking good, my boy. You talking good, my boy. So prior to Sterling Sharp getting the Triple Crown, led the league in yards, receptions, and touchdowns. Who was the person to do it before him? Glad you asked. Jerry Rice. The greatest receiver of all time is not a question. He did it first. So Sterling Sharp being able to do something that Jerry Rice did, and he did it the year after Jerry Rice did it, puts him in rarefied air. Showing that you were the best at your position, even if it's for 1 year to do that, or leading the league in receptions multiple years, leading the league in touchdowns, leading the league in yards multiple years, that puts you in rarefied air. And I'm not saying Dez didn't do that, because I'm trying to think, and I think he led the league in touchdowns maybe twice. Hey Siri, did Dez Bryant ever lead the league in touchdowns? With 16 touchdown receptions in 2014. Dez led the NFL with 16 touchdown receptions in 2014. There we go. So, all right. I know Dez led the league in touchdowns at one point. He was too much of a touchdown demon at that time. So, that does help his case. Sterling did more with less, though. So, anyway. And that's a great argument, TJ, that he played with backup quarterbacks. If we're being honest, let's not forget that Tony Romo was undrafted. For all the good that he did, and he was a blunder waiting to happen, what can go wrong will go wrong if Tony Romo is at quarterback. Let's be clear. Let's not ever forget that. But Dez never had a dominant quarterback and still did what he did. So we got to give him love for that. Now, Ron, we ain't going to keep this up here for long because you cussy moo up here. But who said that BS? Now, which part? About Emmett and LaShawn McCoy, or what part of that are you talking about? Like, fill me in on what part you're talking about. Because I'll tell you who the conversation was with if it worked in my favor. But anyway, so yes, that's what I would say, man. I believe that those two players are comparative, right? I believe that for this generation, LaShawn McCoy and Marshawn Lynch are probably the two greatest backs, right? Because both of those guys in that era, they dominated, right? You talk about the guys from this era, they don't really compare to those guys. So that's all I'll say. So Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, that's just what that is. And I said this too earlier. I can't respect. Okay, so yeah, Lynch and Shady. What? Okay, so what? Because I made the comparison that was this generation's Emmett and Barry, right? Based off of their style of how they play. Two completely different styles of play, but both comparatively great in their eras. My argument was, I don't necessarily believe that LaShawn McCoy was better than Marshawn Lynch. I think he was just more talented. So I said that. Damon said that he believes LaShawn McCoy was better than Marshawn Lynch. I just don't agree with that. I just think that he was more flashy, more scat back-ish, so that stuff looks cool, you know? There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that's what it was. So anyway, the title of this show... Oh, okay, got you. What did you thought you heard? Let me ask you that for clarification, because he said, "Oh, okay, got you." What did you believe that you heard? So, just to quickly touch on, Dez, because I did title it "Dez Caught It," right? Before we move on to the Cowboys schedule, let's be clear. I don't care what a hater says. I don't. Maybe more elusive. Yes. Absolutely. There we go. I agree. That's the terminology right there. See, now you talking football, Kinfolk. Now you talking Kinfolk. Now you talking football, Shinto. You know what I'm saying? LaShawn McCoy was more elusive. Barry Sanders was more elusive than Emmitt Smith. Here's my thing, and I'll end that with this. What you just said, that he said Shady was better. Yeah, Damon. So let's jump on him tomorrow, Kinfolk, because he definitely said he think LaShawn McCoy was better than. I'm like, boy, do you not remember who Marshawn Lynch was, bro? Marshawn Lynch actually had more speed when he was younger. So he was not just running you over, he was running away from you, boy. Like, Marshawn Lynch was that dude. Stop playing with me. But, man, we all remember the game, dog. And I'm just going to make it quick, dog, because this not clickbait. I definitely did want to touch on it. But Dez caught it, bro. I'm sorry, bro. It's stained in our memory like the Rangers losing the World Series in 2011, dog. And then, you know, the 2011 hurt worse because we were up. All we needed to do was catch the fly ball, bro. You like when we have blunders, bro, they're great. When we have blunders, they are terrible blunders, bro. Romo against the Seattle Seahawks. Bro, just get the ball down so Grammatica can kick it, bro. Vaseline, Diddy, fingers having, boy. Like, bro, that stuff is stained in our memories forever, dog. You get what I'm saying? And so, for us as Cowboy fans, now mind you, let's be clear. This is what people never talk about after the catch, right? Because Dez caught it. Even if you look at it by the standard of the rule that they put in place the next year, he caught the ball. He made a football move, and he took 3 steps. Both feet came down. Caught the ball. Football move. 3 steps. That's a catch in every universe, bro. I don't care who you are. That's a catch. Football move. 3 steps. 2 feet. Y'all didn't want us to go to the NFC Championship, bro. And we all know this. No. The ground cannot cause a fumble going into the end zone. The ground cannot cause a fumble going into the end zone, my boy. Whether you're in the end zone or you're going into the end zone, the ground cannot cause the fumble. I ain't gonna argue with you on that. But you can't tell me that I caught the ball. Because remember, the ball went out of bounds. I'm just saying, bro, we got to be real about this stuff, bro. I get it. Ron is a Washington fan. You know what I'm saying? I can't never call them. They the Redskins till it's over, Kinfolk, because that was the real team. All that other stuff, that was just to get Snyder up out of there. They didn't respect Snyder, bro. He wasn't a real owner. He made the franchise trash. So they the Redskins. So him and Martinez Jr., you know, they Redskins fans. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Kinfolk. Hey, it's all love over here. You been showing love. You subscribe today. I ain't got nothing negative to say. But I will say this. I hope you boys can follow something up with Jaden this year. I hope y'all can follow something up. Because we all know about the sophomore slump for receivers. I mean, for quarterbacks. I'm sorry. We all know about the sophomore slump for quarterbacks. It get very tough out here when them boys, when they get the tape on you. They got film on them now. What do you think about that, Ron, by the way? I think y'all should have got it on the 1. I'm not mad at that, bro. Here's the thing. It's whatever the ruling was, whether it was a touchdown, whether we got it on the 1, that was a great play by Romo and Dez. Dean Blandino, who was the guy who actually made the call that said it wasn't a catch. I don't know, dog. It seemed real fishy to me is all I'm saying, dog. It just, hey, dog, I ain't saying that, I ain't seen that, dog. I don't know. I'm just saying, it seemed a little fishy to me. Dez caught it. I fully believe that with my whole heart. Whether we got it on the one or it was a touchdown or whatever, that was a great play call and execution. That was Romo's moment to show. But, this is what I was going to say, though. What people never talk about is that there was a lot of time left on that clock. There was a lot of time left on that clock. It is not a foregone conclusion that if we would have scored, unless we somehow found a way to run that clock down, that we were going to be able to stop the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, because we never stopped them in the entire game. We never stopped them. But that's another situation. We'll never know, because we had a chance to get them off the field, and they just iced the game. Hold on, folks. Okay, you say don't wish that slump on us. Laugh out loud. I think we gonna compete for the division. I know what you mean. No. Let me be clear. And Said can attest to this. The podcast that I was a part of before I left can attest to this. I was the one who said, new ownership. They got the guy from San Francisco. He know what he doing. I said that. They don't know how to pick a quarterback to save their life. But everything else, they know what they doing. They picked up that tight end, Eckler. No, they picked up the running back, Eckler. They picked up the tight end. I forgot his name. I forgot him. I think he came from Arizona, maybe. And I said, okay, they putting together a nice little team here. Then I watched they draft. I said, the Eagles are going to finish first. Washington's going to finish second. The Cowboys are going to be third. And the Giants are going to be last because they're atrocious. I literally said that. Before the start of last season, I said that. Said or attest to it. So, yeah. I'm not a hater. I appreciate Jalen. I think here's the problem. He's going to have to evolve. Now, mind you, I'm not saying he's a bad passer of the football. So don't get me wrong when I say this. I'm not saying that he's not a good passer of the football. He tends to have a favorite side that he likes to roll out to. And he still runs the ball entirely too much. If we look at Lamar Jackson's career, explosive, multiple MVPs, never made it to the big dance. He has to evolve as a thrower and be able to understand that you use your legs in pockets. You use your legs in spurts. Because if he doesn't develop, I fear he'll get hurt too much. Even if he puts on weight, these guys are 300 and some 50 pounds running like freight trains at this guy. It's going to be very hard for him to not get hurt. And we supposed to be going back to the Redskins, so I'm hearing. I ain't going to lie, bro. I would love that. I would love that, bro. I really would. Like, the Commanders, and then y'all got the pig Tutty as y'all. Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. Knock it off. Knock it off, dog. Anyway, so let me ask you this, Ron. Let me hold your feet to the fire. What do you expect from y'all this season? Hey, Will, just hop in here, bro. I've been doing this, dog. This ain't nothing new to me, dog. I ain't new to it. I'm true to it. Will talking about you on live on YouTube. You a tuber now? I've been a tuber, bro. Stop playing with me, dog. But, so Ron, tell me, what do you foresee for your season? What do you foresee for your season? Like, what do you, in a real way, if you could just say, hey, we gonna do this. And if you're a homer like that, be a homer. I ain't mad at you. Just tell me what you think y'all gonna do. TJ, if you still on here, you tell me if you believe that Dez ultimately ever gets in. And if you got time, I'll invite you up one time so you can tell me a story about going to Dez's house, because I think that's kind of cool. I ain't gonna hold you, kid folk. I seen Dak one time after we got done playing a flag football team. He had a flag football team out there, a young team. I was like, man, nobody gonna say what's up to him, bro. You weak, dog. I'm not a Dez fan. I mean, I'm a Dez fan. I'm not a Dak fan at all. So anyway, so let's get into this schedule. You know what I'm saying? And thank you, like I said, for anybody. I feel NFC Championship for sure. Oh, Ron, why do you do this, dog? Why do you make me have to be the bearer of bad news, my guy? Why do you make me have to be the bearer of bad news? Then the Super Bowl. Oh, man, I want to pick. Hold on, bro. I'm taking a picture of this stuff because, yeah, I'm taking a picture. Just give me a second, guys. Hold your horses. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got nothing else to do. Stop acting like y'all got something to do. I just want to take a picture of what Ron said. Hey, dog. That ain't happening, dog. I'm sorry, dog. I love you like a play cousin, kinfolk. That ain't happening, okay? I get it. It was a flash in the pan situation, dog. Didn't nobody know no better. There is tape and film on this young man. No bad news, facts. I bet. You know what I'm saying? Bet. Yeah. So anyway, dog. And if you get it right, bro, I'm going to show the same love, I promise. I promise you. So let's get into this Cowboy schedule, dog. Once again, thank you, man, if you shared it. Oh, no, I took a picture. That's better than writing it down, kinfolk. But let's get into this schedule. You know what I'm saying? That boy Russ said they going to the bowl next year. Who he talking to, dog? Who he talking to? They going to the bowl. Yeah, alright. There was tape on my home. Whoa. Hold on, kinfolk. Let me move this comment up here. There was tape on Mahomes too. Let me quote great debaters real quick. Let me quote great debaters for you real quick. You've seen great debaters, I'm sure. There was a moment of great debaters where this is after Farmer had followed Denzel to the farmhouse and all that stuff, and they was meeting up to celebrate the wins and stuff like that. And he said, people are getting concerned about your practices. Feel like it's, putting people in danger, stuff like that. And he said, some people think you're a radical. And he said, Denzel said, Jesus Christ was a radical. And then he said, whoa, you can pay yourself to Jesus Christ? You can pay yourself to Jesus Christ? Whoa, there's a lot of people that are mentally ill in the head that compare themselves to Jesus Christ. Do you compare Jaden to Mahomes? Do you compare Jaden to Patrick Mahomes? Let's be clear here. Let's be crystal clear here, sir. That man has been to more AFC championships, more Super Bowls. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Chiefs. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here, bro. Why are we bringing up Mahomes? That's what I'm asking. Oh, sorry. If y'all want to show some love, you know what I'm saying? Cash out the mind of a man, you know what I'm saying? That's if y'all want to show some love, dog. Hey, you know what I'm saying? We trying to build a church fund. We got a leaky roof, kinfolk. We trying to patch up the roof. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get a new roof built for the church. So, mind of a man, cash out, you know what I'm saying? Y'all want to show some love. But anyway, yeah, I'm confused, dog. I guess I'm just wondering why we bring up Mahomes. Okay, thank you, because I was waiting on something. Mahomes had to have a sophomore season, and they can't stop him. Let's be clear again. Patrick Mahomes had Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid. He also sat for a year. He also has different intangibles that Jaden Daniels doesn't have. Now, to be fair, Patrick Mahomes can't run like Jaden Daniels. But Jaden Daniels can't throw the ball, don't got the vision, can't throw that mug on an angle. Why he can't do what Patrick Mahomes does. Y'all just got here. If I were y'all, I would just say, you know what? I would be good with making the playoffs again. Let's build a culture of winning. But for us to bring up Patrick Mahomes, I think it's just actually egregious, if I'm being honest. If I do say so myself, I think it's egregious. Patrick Mahomes should not be compared to Jaden Daniels. Where do we just see Patrick Mahomes at? Can anybody remind me? The Super Bowl, sir. Can't name an illustrious receiver that he had that was in his prime. So when we start naming great Jimmy's, Juju Smith-Schuster and DeAndre Hopkins, far past their primes. James Toney, who couldn't catch a cold. We just got to start keeping it a buck here with what we got going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not knocking Jaden, bro. I'm just saying, let that man build a resume first and then come holler at me. I'll give you the love. Now, you did give me, I did ask you and you did give me. Now I'm starting to wish I didn't ask. But I took a picture. All right. We start the season off with the team that took down Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. At Philadelphia. We don't know if Micah gonna be there. That don't matter because he doesn't perform against playoff teams. If he tries to, they'll run the ball at him and he'll become irrelevant. Cowboys lose the first game of the season at Philadelphia against the team where the quarterback says, I ain't even wearing my ring no more. We're moving on. He's focused. We're going to get beat by 30. The following week, oh no, we got 10 days, so we play on that Thursday, so whatever. The following week that we come back, we play the New York Giants at AT&T. I can't help but know that's a dub. I'm sorry. Like, that's a dub, kinfolk. So we 1-1. Then the following week, we go to Chicago. Did y'all see the film of Caleb Williams doing the drill where you throw it and you try to hit it into the little pockets and he went like 0 for like 7 and he turned around pissed off? Hey, kinfolk, that's a dub for the Cowboys. We 2-1. I'm sorry. We bet not lose. Mind you, let me be clear. We never play well against the Bears. That one, I think last year or the year before, actually. The year before, we beat them by like 20 or something, but they put up like not 40. They put up like 20-something points, though. So it was a high-scoring game. But we shouldn't lose to the Bears, which means we're probably going to lose to the Bears, but I'm going to say we're 2-1. We lose to Philly. We get drubbed by Philly at Philly. We get pushed to death. Then we go and beat the Giants at home, and then we go beat the Bears. The fourth game of the season, we play against the Green Bay Packers here. Do y'all remember what happened the last time we played the Packers? Anybody? Can anybody tell me what happened the last time we played the Packers? I'm glad you asked. We got beat by 40 burger. We got beat by a 40 burger, kinfolk. Jordan Love is not to be. Hey, listen, kinfolk. Alfred told Batman, kinfolk, in that third Batman, my favorite movie. He was looking at Bane fight his way when they went to the stock exchange and they stole the money, right? He said, look at him. His speed, his ferocity, his quickness. A man like that should not be trifled with. I see a man who's been trained by the League of Shadows. Kinfolk, Jordan Love is not to be trifled with. Okay? Dak Prescott can't hold a candle to Jordan Love. I'm sorry. 2-2. The 5th week. Now, if this go the way that I hope it does, Micah Parsons play for the Jets and Breece Hall play for us. All we got to do is run at him. He ain't going to do nothing. But it's the Jets, and it's at MetLife Stadium. We never play good up there. I'm talking about going back to the Sanchez days. We never play good against the Jets. I think we find a way to lose this game. 2-3. I think we find a way to lose that game. 2-3. Then we go to Carolina, who has Jimmy Horn, who is lighting it up, by the way. Shout out to Colorado. Shout out to Deion Sanders. Yeah, that Jimmy Horn, who got hurt late in the season, but speed demon, 4'3" guy, lighting it up. You feel me? I got mad love for them. At Carolina, I gotta believe that we bounce back. So we 3-3. Very average. I think I'm pretty on par with this. Excuse me while I take a sip. Game 7. Well. Look what we got here. I think it's Pootie Cat. Yeah. We got the Washington Commanders, kinfolk. No. Not sleeping on Carolina. I just think that because they caught fire late. Remember that. The draft was decent. Bryson, what's his name? Bryce caught fire late. Started figuring some stuff out. I just think that we could lean on the experience overall of the offense. I'm just kind of hoping we don't suck balls against them. That's all I'm saying, Kimbo. I'm not sleeping on Carolina, but I think it'll be a dub. Now let's look at Game 7 here in Texas. Sidebar, Ron, you want to go to the game together, my guy? You know what I'm saying? Because it's the Washington Commanders at the Dallas Cowboys. How we feeling? Talk your talk. Is that a dub or not? You tell me, Ron. And be honest. Don't you dare lie to me, okay? Don't you lie to me. Why you lie to me? Don't lie to me. What you think? Because at this point, we're 3-3. I don't know what y'all schedule look like, but you're coming to D-Town, kinfolk. What you think? Washington Commanders against the Dallas Cowboys, Game 7. I said Game 7. Well, game number 7. October 19th. Dub. Come on, dog. You just ain't being real, bruh. Did y'all sweep us last year, by the way? I don't remember. Did y'all sweep us? Did y'all win both games last year? Because I don't remember. And I'm trying to remember. Y'all losing that. No, I'm asking last year, did y'all beat us both times, though? Did y'all beat us here and at y'all crib last year? I feel like we split. Did y'all beat us? Anyway. You know what, dog? Am I a realist? What do I think? I think it's a dub, dog. Y'all swept us last year. We getting that get back, dog. I'm sorry. 4-3. Hey, let's go to the game. Hey, we got to go to the game, dog. I'm sorry. We got to make it happen. October 19th. If I got a think tank that day, we might have to move some stuff around, dog. Yeah. We might have to move some stuff around, dog. What time is the game? The game is at 3. Mike, I don't know, dog. I don't know. Anyway, I believe we're going to win. So that's 4-3. The next week, we are at Denver, that's a loss. They gonna smack us. Bro. 4-4. We do need Scary Terry though. Yeah, Scary Terry say he want up out of there, kinfolk. Scary Terry say he done. I'll check my schedule. So yeah, man. Yeah, dog. So anyway, Denver gonna smack us. Denver gonna tear us a new one. Let's go to Green Bay versus Cowboys. Let's do it. You ain't saying nothing but a word to me, kinfolk. It's a 7:20 game too, so it's a nighttime game. September 28th. Let's do it. I'm down, bro. I'm down to do whatever. So I got us 4-4. Like I said, Denver gonna smack the living life out of us at their house. Our defense never plays good against them. So, we don't know. Our offense never plays good against their defense. So 4-4 so far. Very average, very middle of the road team. Arizona Cardinals at the Cowboys. Let me be clear. Let me be clear when I say this. AT&T Stadium is the house that Kyler Murray built. Every year since his freshman year at Allen, he dominated. I think he never lost a game. Is that correct? 4 state championships or something like that? He's very used to playing at Cowboy Stadium. His words were, I was never a Cowboy fan because they were ass. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to, y'all fill in the blanks. I don't have much hope in us beating him all of a sudden. He finds a way to beat us every single time. No yap. 4-5. I mean, this season isn't looking promising. Then the Eagles come here. How do I feel? The Eagles come to AT&T Stadium. Do I have any hope that the Cowboys are going to get the job done? 4-6. I don't. I think Jalen and them are too much, bruh. I'm sorry. They are what franchises should look up to. That's just my honest thought process. Then look at this crap. So this is November, mind you. So, I'm sorry. I skipped over the Raiders. Who's their quarterback now? Who's the Raiders quarterback? Anyway, 5-6. I believe, no, that would be 5-5. I believe we can beat the Raiders. Now listen, they got Ashton Genty. They got the butt tickler guy out of there, so they lost something on the edge there. So we're gonna call that would be 4-5, 5-5, then 5-6. So yeah, we're not beating the Eagles. They're gonna sweep us 5-6. Then we have Patrick Mahomes coming to AT&T Stadium. Geno is the quarterback for the Raiders. Geno might best around slide on us, dog. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I don't have faith in these guys, bro. They are too disappointing for me. But I think we beat Geno now. You know what I'm saying? Geno he cool. He a good comeback player of the year, but 5-6. Then we have Patrick Mahomes, and he got the low cut now. He brought back the curls for the girls. You feel me? On the low cut tip. I'm not gonna waste my time with this. We don't have to do this. How about we don't and say we did? 5-7. At this point in the season, when the Kansas City Chiefs come mobbing in here, we'll be 5-6, and when they get done with us, we'll be 5-7. I wish that I was hopeful, but I'm not. And prove me wrong, Cowboys. I want to root for you. Give me a reason to believe. But right now, 12 games into the season, you're 5-7 according to my metrics. Oh, then we start December off against Detroit. Who made this schedule? This isn't a first. They're treating us like we were a first place team. We're not. Why do we have Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff? What is going on here? Who's responsible for this? 5-8. I don't care. And we're playing in Detroit. They're going to mop the floor with us again. 5-8. I'm sorry. Prove me wrong. All right. Minnesota Vikings. Who's their quarterback? Because they got rid of their MVP candidate. So they're rolling with the rookie that got hurt last year. 6-8. We'll beat them. We'll beat them. So then we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. So here's the thing. Justin Herbert isn't who you think he is. Can we say that? Can we agree with that in the comments? Justin Herbert isn't who we think that he is. But he's better than Dak Prescott. You know what another advantage that they have? Their coach is better than ours. You know what else they have over us? That's it. Their quarterback and their coach is better. And they don't need much else. I think we pull out a dub against them, though. They come to the crib. I think we maybe can force some turnovers on Justin Herbert or get them ribs or something. 6 and where are we at? 6, so 7-8. 7-8. And the last game of the season is against who else? How do we always end up, this is the third year in a row we playing Washington at the end of the season. If I'm not mistaken. Was it Philly last year or was it the Commanders? Because we ended up playing them 2 years in a row one time. And I don't know if it was the 2 years previous before this last year, but I think this is our third year in a row playing them last. So 7-8, and then Washington, we're going to Washington. They go, hey, Kinfolk, listen to me. Kinfolk, listen to me. They go beat the hell out of us. I'm sorry, dog. Call a spade, Kinfolk. They are going to beat the living stuffing out of us. And this is just what it is. I ain't make the rules. I just live by them, Kinfolk. I just live by them. So, I have the Dallas Cowboys finishing at 7-9. That's not a playoff team. If I'm being honest, Dak's not a playoff quarterback. If I'm being honest, Micah Parsons isn't a playoff defensive end. He's not even a defensive end. He's a middle linebacker. Trevon Diggs is not healed yet from his injury. We don't have a solid running back. Oh, buddy, but CeeDee Lamb and Pickens. Now, that's a connection that changes things. I'm willing to offer that connection could be a 2-game swing in the opposite direction. If nothing about this team changes, if Micah Parsons shows up and he's Micah Parsons, we know what we're going to get. I'm sorry. We need to stop acting like we're going to get some different type of sample size after 4 seasons. We know who this guy is. He's talented, but he's a flash in the pan guy. But George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, bona fide top tier, maybe the best tandem in the NFL. Does anybody disagree with that? George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, best tandem of receivers in the NFL. Does anybody disagree with that? I'm willing to argue, or I'd be willing to listen to somebody that would tell me that those players would make plays within 2 of those games that they would normally lose But those two players playing together could flip, and those losses, they would make plays that would turn it into wins. So between 7-9, 8-8, or no, it would be 8-9. No, 7-9. Is that possible? That's not right. That's not right. 7-10, 8-9, and 9 and or 10-7. I think that's what I'm trying to say. 9-8. Dang, why? Come on now. Why y'all let my math go off like that, kinfolk? So between 7-10, 8-9, and 9-8, I believe that is the range that the Cowboys could fall within this season. If players play out of their minds, if all of a sudden Dak becomes a great player versus this mediocre guy, if Jaden Blue ends up being this phenomenal running back, if Pickens and CeeDee Lamb end up meshing together in this way where there's selflessness and they explode, if the defense, which I am actually high on this year, if they end up clicking, I don't have a thought. I just would enjoy what I see. That's what I would say. But to recap, number one, Dez caught it. We're not arguing about that. Argue with your mama. Sorry. And if your mama ain't here, I'm sorry. No disrespect. But, it's just a term. It's just a colloquialism. Y'all like them big words. So that's the first thing. Per the numbers, Dez Bryant is a Hall of Famer. Per the impact, per what he meant to the team, he is a Hall of Famer. Micah Parsons should, in fact, be traded. I'm sorry. I don't care. It don't matter. He should be traded. Somebody made an argument that if you trade 7 first-round picks for him, what are the chances of those 7 first-round picks panning out? What are the chances of him making an impact play in a game that we need? Stop playing with me. Can he defend against a run coming directly at him? I just want us to stop being foolish and being diehard fans gets you nothing. You spending money and time on a team that is going to let you down. So I'm cool with Micah Parsons being traded. I believe ultimately, and somehow my numbers was off, but maybe I missed something. Did I miss something? Am I missing a January game? Anyway, I project the Cowboys to have a losing season, but I believe that if things go better than according to plan, they will end up, who knows? I don't know. I'm not making that declaration because I'm not going to believe it until I see it. But I will be back next week to give you updates on what's going on. Next week, I believe I want to talk some Arch Manning because that is scintillating. I'm excited about Arch Manning at Texas. So for those of you who may not know, I am a Notre Dame fan. That was the first team that I actually really loved. Gold helmets. It was my uncle's team. He was a big brother to me, so I went with whatever team he was with. I'm a Notre Dame fan first. 1A. Texas Longhorns 1B. They almost played each other in the national championship. That would have been the best day of my life. But we're going to talk about some of that. Arch Manning, what type of years he projected to have. We're going to talk all things Texas sports, and then if there's some things that you want to bring to the table, please email me at IamAnthonyMooreInfo@gmail.com. Or put it in the comments. If you have a question, if you got a topic you want me to talk about that's sports related, I don't care if it's boxing, badminton, tennis. I cover a whole plethora of sports. IamAnthonyMooreInfo@gmail.com, or put it in the comments. Holla at your boy, man. We talking sports. This is the first episode of many for You Gonna Get These Sports, bruh. You feel me? We're going to be covering. I want to talk Shedeur Sanders next week because by now, I think by then he would have already played his first preseason game. He's projected to start. Yeah, so I want to talk some different things. Arch Manning, Shedeur Sanders, I want to get off in there with it. I'm a huge boxing fan as well. We got Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford coming up. I want to talk about all those things, you feel me? So let's get into it before we get into it. You know what I'm talking about? Thank you for everybody who tapped in. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for rolling with your boy Mo tonight. And please make sure y'all donate to the church fund if you can. I ain't doing no tripping if you don't. I love you anyway. I'm signing off. I love you. May the Lord keep you. We'll see you next week. Peace.